Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening to this audio. And I'm so grateful and so glad for anybody who takes the time to listen to this Empowering You podcast. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. I really hope this channel helps you in some way. Today's audio podcast will be about the pain I had to overcome as a young woman. I'm 26, so I'm not very old. I know we sometimes speak as we're super old, but we're not. But when I was younger, I experienced cold-heartedness, pain, heartbreak, and I was so broken on the inside, right? I was completely broken on the inside. There was like no hope in my mind for myself. I was in a place where I did not care for me, nor did I care for anybody. I was tired of the relationship I was in at that time, and I was really fed up, crying day in, day out, every night. Tired of the same old thing. He was doing the same old things, and eventually I just packed my things and walked out, and never again did I turn back to him. It was an on and off relationship for like 8 years. It was pretty long. It's probably my longest relationship. I learned a lot from that relationship. But at that time, when I was walking out of that situation and being betrayed by family and loved ones, being betrayed by people and so many people at a time, having to overcome so much. And I was fighting with my pride. I was fighting with myself. I was fighting with my ego. I was very independent. I am still independent. I didn't like to ask for anything because I know what happens when you ask people for things. They put you in a pickle. People care more for themselves than they do for you. And I learned that early on in my life. And it seems to be a recurring lesson for me. Honestly, you really learn the first time. I learned my lesson the first time because what I learned then helped me endure now. You can only go so far with someone as far as you can go with yourself. What I mean by that, you can only go so far as you do the internal works. So you have to overcome your traumas. You have to overcome your pains. You have to overcome those wounds. Otherwise, you can't go to a higher place with anybody. If you only go deep as the surface, you only have surface relationships. If it's not deeper and it's only physical and material, then your relationship is nothing. Because material things hold no substance, for which it has no value, for which it's temporary. For the things I love most are such vain pursuits, because they're the most valuable things that money can't buy. This video is really about how cold and how broken and how hurt I was at that time and how torn up inside. And the aftermath of that was becoming a workaholic and drinking. And I drank a lot. And it was sometimes I fell asleep in the shower from drinking. I think that's when I started liking Paul Mason, because that is my drink. I drink Paul Mason. But at that time, that's when I started drinking. And then after that, I really started to not care about myself. I even didn't care about others. I didn't care about anybody, no one, nothing or no one mattered. Nothing mattered to me. Drinking was a coping mechanism. So was sex. It was a way that I used it to cope with the pain. I didn't respect my body at that time. I didn't respect myself. Because at the time, I was giving my energy and time to people who didn't deserve it. And didn't value me. Didn't know me. You know. Things like that. It's cool to have fun. But let's be honest, people. We use sex for avoiding pain. It's easier to do things that you say you can't control because you're not willing to learn self-control. You're not willing to face the facts or deal with what's really going on. So instead, you become an empty vessel, because that's what I became. An empty vessel. At that time, I had no purpose. I wasn't living for my dreams. I wasn't doing much with my life. I was working 3 jobs. I was working so much. And maybe I became a workaholic, maybe to avoid pain. Maybe. I was working 2 24-hour jobs and another job on the weekends, but that wasn't 24 hours. I worked security during the day, and I worked assembly in the night. I worked fast food on the weekends. I worked so hard getting nowhere fast. It got me nowhere. At that time, I had wrecked my car, and I was going through so much, and I really needed somebody to be there for me. And at that time, a lot of people were betraying me, and at that time I was like very grudge holding. So it took me years to heal, years to overcome the pain that I endured, and years to understand what I learned and to apply it now in my life. To understand that it's always deeper for me, even if it's not deep for anybody else. And I came to a place of loving myself. I came to a place of making an effort. I came to a place of healing. I came to a place of overcoming myself and my pride. And I'm not saying I don't deal with my pride still. I deal with a lot of stuff still. But what I can say is I did overcome that point in my life. And I'm no longer that broken, purposeless, hurt, sad girl. I became a woman. Though I didn't allow what happened to me to change the kind of woman I am. It really does seem that you learn the lessons firsthand the first time. Peace, love, and happiness. I hope you guys will have an abundant day.